Hello and welcome to the Manlikeradio podcast. Now let's do some godly talk for godly walk.
Boyd, welcome to the Manlikeradio podcast. I'm your host, Richard Boyd. I'm glad that you have joined us tonight. We are coming back after a few weeks of sabbatical. Of course, I've got Mr. Success himself.
Hey.
Pastor Stan Ferrell, how are you?
I'm wonderful, my brother. Pleasure to be back in the mix.
Yeah, and you're the first one breaking through the first night as we come back on live. It's been we've kind of just took a sabbatical, just you understand it. Pray and seek God and see which way we need to go on the program. And I want to say hi to you and hello to everybody, and of course tell the wife hello after I'm finished in case I forget.
Likewise, we'll do so, my friend.
Yeah, I want to remind everybody again, manlikeradio@gmail.com is the email, manlikeradio@gmail.com. And you've got two options. You can go to Manlike Radio and you can leave a question or a comment. And just do that. You'll see a little blue button right there. In fact, I have it up here. Oops, this way, getting myself crossed here. Anyway, have it up here, those who are watching, Manlike Radio. Just click on that, and that will take you where you can do your question if you want to leave them anonymous, or if you want to go ahead and be a part of it and just leave it on social media, do it right there and leave it on social media. You don't care if your name is up there, but please make your questions very short, very brief, but at the same time make them something that we enjoy and can like to enjoy. Okay, don't be mean with us, all right? Manlike Radio. You can also get us at Twitter. Manlike Radio at Twitter. Right there, you can go ahead and do that. And the rest of you who are here. And tonight, Stan, as we get right into it, now those who are coming in, we start off a little bit off schedule. That wasn't anybody's fault, but I just take the blame. What's the rule of management, Stan? The leader always takes the blame. Is that a good rule?
That's right. All right. Sink with the ship.
Yes. I could never wonder, an employee would do something and they always say to you, no, it's first rule of management. It's always the manager's fault. Well, Stan, let's get into this right now as we're talking about a road to success.
Yes, sir.
Let's describe that, because the reason why we have you come on so much, because people have been so blessed by the success aspect of what God has given you and the revelation in that area. So my question to you, Stan, what do you consider is a road to success?
Listen, the road to success is a road that really begins with you. If the road don't begin with you, I promise you, you're not on the road to success.
Okay, with you. Now, clarify that now, but because obviously it's about successfully you.
Yes, exactly. See, because understand something now. Either we going to work with authentic, original success, or this fabricated success that we've come up with, over different times and dispensations and whatever. But when you talk about real, genuine success, it has to begin with you.
It must. I mean, it must, and no if or buts, correct?
No if, ands, or but about it, because think about it. Think about it. If, let's take a fruit, for example. If that fruit going to be successful in your life, it has to begin with itself. The quality of the fruit that it is. Because if it don't have good quality or whatever, then it's not going to be successful in what it's supposed to provide for me, which is nourishment or whatever. So it begins with the fruit. It begins with you. Because success really about producing harvest and life for another, and it don't begin with the one that you're trying to produce for. It begins with you, the producer itself.
Right. No, I understand exactly what you're saying in that area, because in today's life, Stan, we are told success it comes in. There's so many different levels of what people consider success to be. Yeah.
You talk to, you just say, let's look at business. This principle is truth even in business. You know, you talk to any millionaire, billionaire, listen, it started with them. You
Right.
see, it didn't start with the company they started or the business they started. It started with them, because if you can't get over you, you can never get over into what you need to be doing.
Now, Stan, you've always said that. Every time we talk about this on a Man Like, you always mention how
Yes,
important
sir.
that we have to get ourselves right. Which obviously, yes, that would be obvious for success. We have to make ourselves right, correct?
Yes, exactly. And I think we need to play a major role in helping the world to understand not only what it is, but where it begins. And when you get people to do that, I believe we'll have more productive people in society, because everybody thinking success is somewhere else but at their house.
Wow.
They think it's stored somewhere else, and it's not, because my success hinges upon no one around me, only me. You know, and when you get people to understand that, then we can develop a more productive society. Because you think about it, Richard, you go back into the times where this country highly esteemed farmers. Well, who were farmers? They were people that were producing themselves for the community.
Wow.
It started with themselves. It started with their willingness and their ability to produce whatever crop they wanted for society. Well, listen to me very carefully. When they took that away, they killed this thing about a productive country and society. Why? Because the country began to depend upon others' countries to produce for itself.
Wow. Yes. 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 Okay.
It's just that simple. Though that's as massive and complicated that has been, I believe God is saying, you know, it's just that simple. It all starts with a seed. You can be amazed with the forest and a plantation and whatever, but the bottom line is it started with one seed.
Right. Right. So this success, right? This success is built off. I like how you said started with one seed, and today we're seeing unfortunately that demise, that falling down.
Yes, it's continued. You know, like I said, it started in agriculture society, and it's doing so even mentally, spiritually, and physically. We violating that principle, but if we can get back to that root and begin to get that into people's mind and thinking, I tell you, people will get over their situations quicker and better and stronger and become more productive, and we will not have so much of this dependency. I mean, because this is the thing that fuels, you know, the drug markets and drug addicts and alcoholics and what. Why? Because people don't understand that and that they don't. It's not based upon another. Because, for example, you know, Jesus said in one parable, he said, I believe it was in Matthew, he said about, why stand you here idle all day? And they said, nobody has hired her. What does it have to do with anybody else? He said, no, it ain't because nobody's hired you. It's that you haven't found something to do in my vineyard.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? They were saying that to nobody will hire us. Then hire yourself.
Right.
You know, so I'm strong in that, man. I believe that. I said, because I live by that, and it works, Richard.
Right.
And because when you get people to understand that, then we can be much more of a benefit to each other and less of a strain and stress to one another.
Correct. Well, Stan, let me ask you this question. You think, and you've laid that foundation there. Do you think that success, okay, in the Christian view is different than the world view? Now, don't get me wrong. I know the world says in many ways money and stuff like that, but on generally, does it basically come off at the same level still?
Well, you know, that's kind of two sides of the world, so to speak. You know, there is the side of the world, so the answer will be yes and no. There's a side of the world where they understand principles and they work in the principles, because I've heard many successful, financially successful people who don't subscribe to a relationship with God, don't subscribe to Christianity, but they'll tell you that they understand the principles of giving and serving and whatever. Well, you can't give and serve until you realize something about yourself, that, you know what, that I need to be the best person I can be to other people. And the way you do that is by serving them and giving to them. Then you got the other side of the world where they think success is all about the stuff you got.
Right.
You know, the possessions, you know. So there's two sides to the world, is what I'm saying. And but then there's only one side of the Christian world, You know, even though you got many mindsets in that world, but and the Christian side of the world, it's about principle. You know, but the principle begins with the person, and so.
And you do agree, Stan, because I've heard this said before too. One time a great man of God said this is, when you get the principle or the righteous part right, then you don't have to worry about the stuff.
Exactly. Because that's what it produces.
Right.
That's what it produces. It's just automatic.
Because Jesus said, if you're not faithful with a penny, who's going to give you the million? I mean,
exactly.
and you know this too. An example is the lottery. And most of the people so far have won it end up broke eventually, and I don't think it's because they never knew how to run the penny in the beginning.
Right. See, they was failures before they ever got it.
Wow.
That's why they fail. A failure will always fail.
Right.
See, but a successful person will fail while becoming successful. Which means, see, you got to be successful as a person in your way of thinking and understanding and relating to people and respecting people as an individual, psychologically and spiritual. And then the things that you do physically will matter and make a difference for you and for others, because you become a successful person on the inside in the intangible world.
Right.
When you are successful in the intangible, the tangible is automatic. You know, the intangible is spiritual and psychological.
Right.
And you find that in the scriptures.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Because this is what it says when it says this. It says this. You listen, in 3 John.
Go ahead. Are you there, Stan?
Okay, I'm here. Yeah, I'm there. I'm sorry. I hit the wrong button. You there? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you fine.
Yeah. See, in 3 John 2, it says, "Beloved, I wish above all things that you may prosper." See, you may prosper and be in health, even as your soul
prospers. Right.
See, your health, your physical, your you, see, is spiritual. And then say your soul, as your soul prospers, you prosper as your soul prospers. That's inside. See? And people trying to be healthy. You'll never live a physical healthy life as long as you are unhealthy mentally. Which means if you think that you can eat unhealthy food,
right,
then your body will never be physically healthy, because you think unhealthy.
And success takes a price.
Exactly.
You pay a price. It's a sacrifice for it.
Right.
Right. But Stan, and we know that men struggle with this consistently, right? I think I would say one of the biggest things men struggle with is because of what they've defined success as. Yeah.
You know, I got a definition for the word "you" that I use. YOU, and to be successful, you is that it stands for your original uniqueness. Your original uniqueness. That, you know, for a man to be successful in a relationship, in business, in any sector of life, he has got to accept, discover, and develop his original uniqueness. In other words, who God created you to be, you have to discover that, because there lies your success in everything you go to do.
Stan, I got something to add to that, because as people are joining, I want to say hello, shout out to those of you who are joining in. Those who are listening later on the podcast, I want to say thank you once again for being a part of it. If you're listening to the after recorded version, when I say we are just as important as the ones who come live and listen and watch. But I want to just say this to Stan along that line. You know, the church today is divided in that. Because because I've always said this, Stan, and of course you being a pastor, me being a pastor, the problem I think the church has is that we swing. We never seem to find the right balance.
Right.
So the dress code either swings too right or too left. You know what I'm saying? The dealing with women in the church, it's either overdone or underdone. Is that what I'm saying? Well, success is an issue. Money's an issue in the church. It's funny that no church, even churches that don't like quote, and I'm just saying quote prosperity preachers, they won't deny money. They know they need the money. But it seems like when it comes to success, this is what they all say, Stan. Well, if you put your trust in God and be humble, and God wants you poor, broke, and starving, that's the will of the Lord. Wow.
That's one of the most ignorant thoughts that ever came forth. You know, if it's not at the top, it's near the top. You know, and that is basically saying the way you think has nothing to do with it. And that is so far from the truth. You know, and I think one of the things, Richard, that statement goes to help us understand what people misunderstand about predestined. Right. See, people think predestined means the absence of your thought and no participation on your part. No, predestined means God has set and established the consequences, and you can't change them, but you can decide if they ever come. Right. You see, and predestined means God established the end, and then He expects you to begin it. You know, and so for example, if predestination is like the seed of a fruit, you know, the seed is not the fruit, but you know what it is before you ever get started with it. Why? Because the end has already been established. See? So what I've got to do is, just because I know there's an apple seed in my hand, it doesn't mean I just stand there and hold it and pray and speak over it. Right. No, I've got to participate in a process to release its potential. So I can see the end. So if I never get started, I'll never see the end, though the end is there. And that means there's a thought process that goes into that. And you got to teach people that. So we got to participate, because God made us participators, not robots. Right. See, though He made everything that Adam would ever need before he got here, and He put Adam in it, He said, now, I made sure it's here, and I put it here, so you don't have to ask me for anything, but you do have to participate. And He says, you dress it and you keep it, and don't touch that. See, that's participation. You just say, okay, now I'm done it all. You just lay back and drink and eat and be merry. No. No. If you're gonna enjoy this and keep this going that I started, then I need you to follow these instructions. Right. See what? So you can continue to enjoy what I always made available to you. Right. And God always reminds us of what He owns. Exactly. All through the Bible. Yes. I mean, a cattle, 1,000 hills is just an analogy. Obviously, every hill He owns the cattle. I tell the folks, if that 1,000 was literal, then He only owned 1,000 hills of cattle. It has to be. It's just, it's an analogy of every hill. But what I'm saying is, and so we see that today, Stan, is that fight and that war. The church is dividing on the financial aspect, or God making us successful. Stan, achievement. Man's achievement. I've heard this. You know the saying, God helps those who help themselves. And I know there might be some yes and no to that. You want achievement and believing God for success. Is there a difference? Yes and no. Because you can achieve you can achieve a lot of things that you never believed God for. You know what I'm saying? I mean, but they know where you can be believing God and not achieve. Ooh, okay. I like that. You see what I'm saying? Right. And so you gotta watch how people see, because when you're achieving something, it means you conquering and accomplish whatever. Well, the enemy, the devil, achieves some things. You know what I'm saying? But you see, in that one. But the point is, was God a factor in that? If not, then so you just can't go off of achievement and make determination, because again, when you believe in God, right? Correct. For example, somebody just want to say, I want to achieve things. Well, that means you can do everything underneath the sun, whether it be right, wrong, legal, illegal, whatever. You're achieving. in and of itself, you're achieving. But don't tell me you're achieving because you believe in God and you commit crimes.
Yeah.
No,
Gotcha,
because
gotcha.
here's what believing God is about. Believing God means you agree with God and you abandon everything that disagrees with God. That's what believing is. People don't understand that about belief. Believing ain't just you mentally saying yes, but believing means I align myself with God in that concerning that matter, and then I abandon anything that's opposite of that alignment.
Right.
That's how you can tell when people believe in God.
Right.
So in other words, if a woman is saying, I'm believing God for a husband, but she's sleeping around with every man, you need not believe in God.
Right. Very good. Yes.
Because if you believe in God, you will abandon other men, sleeping with men. Or women these days.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
So belief has agreement and abandonment together. And
so we have to be careful when we say, okay, yes, we achieve things by, you said earlier, by stepping out in faith. Adam had to till the garden. I know it's not built by works. We all know this, but I like what somebody says, but to keep our salvation, you need to work. You know what I'm saying? You need to work in it. And people say, what Christ did in the cross we can never work our way into it. But once we get saved, we have to work in Christ, trusting and believing him and reading the word, the usual thing, Stan.
Yeah, he said work it out. You got to work out your salvation.
Right. Yeah. And the same thing is with true godly success.
Yes. Because think about it. Look at it. Adam could not claim that his success was based upon what he produced because he didn't produce anything. God had already produced it. So his success lied in his ability to follow the instructions regarding the way things are made. Man then started taking credit for what he was possessions until he fell under the curse, because possession thing was all he could do to find significance.
Right.
See, and there lies in the definition of success based upon the world.
Right.
See,
right.
So never, and see, because Jesus said a man's life, a man's success does not consist of the things in which he possesses. See, it consists of who he is. Not what he has.
Right. Which brings me to my next question, which talks dealing with Christians again. And let me just put it this way, Stan, before I get to that. Do you think sometimes in the church that many people feel guilty?
Oh, no doubt. They feel guilty about their wealth and riches and stuff like that.
Or at least to achieve it. That would, I try to tell the people over and over, Stan. You know me for years. I try to tell the people that that there's a balance to everything. But I think we've unbalanced it. It's so funny. I always say this. I don't know if you know that there was a story I heard many years ago, and it might not have anything to do, but it has to do with what we're saying. But in this story, there was a preacher, actually, I think it was in Houston, and he preached against the lottery for years. And I'm not telling you for nor against, I'm just saying. Right. And if I get it right, his wife went and bought a ticket one day, and she hit it for $2 million. And they asked him, well, what do you think about it? He said, well, I was wrong.
Yeah, that sounds typical.
That sounds typical. And then I heard another story not too long ago along the same line. This pastor was preaching against this thing for a long time, and a lady in his church hit it. She was buying it, and she hit it. And she came and gave him, I get how many $100,000. And they said, do you take that money? He said, well, I didn't win it, but she did for me. So it seems like, Stan, unfortunately, as we said earlier, there's such an imbalance in the church when it comes to. But do you agree that sometimes as Christian men, we are fearful of success because of maybe such imbalance?
Yeah, exactly. And you know why we're fearful of it, Richard? I believe this, man, is that when you don't know the purpose of a thing, that's then you're left with fear and guilt about it.
Right.
But when you understand the purpose of being wealthy and rich, there's no guilt in that, bro.
Right, Stan. Right.
And that's what we got to teach people. See, we got to stop arguing over success and prosperity and start educating ourselves about the purpose of success. When we can clear that up, there'll be no fight over success. Why? There's a purpose behind it, because you need it. We just need to know why we need it. See, it's not my success. It's not just about me.
Mm.
Me being rich is not about me. I need to be rich so I can help others, so I can empower others, so I can advance the kingdom of God in various ways. So I have no guilt complex about that. I have no reservation about that, because I first of all understand the purpose of it.
Right.
No, and so I keep striving that I may fulfill that purpose, not to be rich, but that I may fulfill that purpose, and in doing so, you're going to come across wealth.
Right. To be, and there's nothing wrong, because like I tell the people even at church, I told them a few weeks ago, it's great that, I mean, as you know, we have a very great food outreach. We've had it for years, and hundreds we reach each month. But what I've told the people, as great as that is, and the homeless that come around, you still have to reach the wealthy.
You do.
Because Jesus did.
Exactly.
Because a lot of people, most of us work for them.
Right. You see, that's the problem with people thinking religiously and not thinking kingdom. Mm. Because kingdom is about conquering territory, not conquering people.
Wow. See,
religion conquers people.
Okay.
God ain't trying to conquer nobody. God wanted to conquer earth, and he needed the people to do that.
Yeah.
You see.
Yes.
And so this is where you get all these convoluted ideas about wealth and church. It's not about. It's about God having a relationship with man, so that man can represent God in conquering this earth for the kingdom of God, and establishing His government in this earth. And that is going to happen.
That is going to happen. That is going to happen.
No doubt.
Right. I mean,
it has to be a new heaven and new earth, but it's going to happen.
Right. But Stan, and everything you look at, even forget about the other stuff and the other negative stuff in Revelation in respect of we know that's coming. But you're right. I mean, everything we see with the kingdom of heaven. I mean, God's not ashamed. I'm amazed that when Jesus went before Pilate, and Pilate said, you don't have authority over. Jesus said, I could call my Father, and he could bring 10,000 legions of angels. That's a massive army.
Exactly. He didn't say about no religion. He says about a legion.
Yeah. And I'm thinking, everything that God has, He does big.
Yes.
And it seems like in the church, and being in our false humility, because what it is sometimes, we want to cow it down and say, well, no, I can't do that, can't do that.
Yeah.
And it's really, really sad. And Stan, like we said earlier, men struggle today. Stan, give me about one or two things, maybe 1, 2, 3, what you think. And this is a quick one. I want to say hi out to all of you out there. And I'll say this, Stan, those who are just giving us the thumbs up, thank you so much. I'll say this, Stan, I'm not afraid. There's some folks in my church who I love a lot and cherish dearly. And some of them I know God, I'm just thinking of one couple right now that God, I know is going to bless them, that they're literally going to come into, I just see it with millions. Yeah. And I know because they're ready and they're able. They don't think they are. And at times they try to be very humble about it. And that's fine. Yeah. But I just know, Stan, God's going to bless their businesses immensely. You know what I'm saying? And but because I know their heart in giving. And I think that's a big thing, Stan. I know we're kind of talking about giving to the church. That's a big thing about being successful.
Yes.
I mean, I used to know some people in our church used to hate mega churches till a mega church paid off our mortgage.
Oh, yeah, I know that's right. Need mega churches.
Yeah. So anyway, but what I'm getting to, Stan, and that's another subject on the Man Hike, okay? One day maybe we need to talk about that, Stan, one day. Anyway, let's just talk about this area here. Give me about 1 or 2 things or 3 things that men on this journey to success. You do agree, first of all, let me just say one thing here also, that sometimes as men, we're on the wrong path because, like you said earlier, we're trying to achieve it, not achieving it through God. It's what we like and what we want. Right. Okay, so how do we get that first thing out of our head?
Well, you know what? The first thing I think, Richard, is key. And you go back and look at an Old Testament, and for example, Abraham. Abraham was tangibly rich and wealthy, but do you know the key to Abraham's wealth was Abraham was a worshiper.
Yes, 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 sir.
Wherever he made tent, he built an altar.
That's true. Yes, that's right.
And I found that to be because see, it's a worshiper that keeps you from being self-absorbed.
Ooh.
And this is why God said, I'm looking for true worshipers. See, because a true worshiper gives the creator credit. And wow. I'm telling you, that is a major is that if we can become a worshiper. Now, worshiper, I'm not talking about singing songs. No, we're saying that stop being impressed with yourself and being impressed with God. And be in awe of him. Mm. Then the second thing is that which worship leads to the word. Mm. That when you're a worshiper of God, then you want to spend time in the word of God. Mm. See? And it's in that word that God's going to release to you the secrets of your personal success by way of wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Because the word is going to impart to us what God used to make all this unique and awesome world called the universe and earth. Mm-hmm. The word said in Proverbs that it was by wisdom he did everything. Right. And there is no way that a man or woman can grow in the wisdom of God and not become wealthy spiritually, mentally, and even physically.
Yes, yes.
See, because that's the key to riches and wealth is wisdom. Mm. And wisdom comes from a place of worship and the word. Wow. Wow. That's what I would give to the brothers.
Wow. And we will, the journey sometimes will be rough.
Oh, no doubt. No doubt.
I mean, I think I heard a billionaire say this. I don't know which one it was. I don't want to call the name, but he's had more failures. He said it this way. Yeah. He's had 100 failures and 1 victory, but that 1 victory made him the billion.
Exactly. But here's why that 1 victory made him the billion. He learned something from each one of those failures that created that 1 victory.
Yes.
See, that's the thing. So we got to stop trying to, dodge the bumps and the dips and the valleys, and we got to do whatever. You got to walk through them.
Right.
See,
right.
You got to walk through them because the wealthy place is on the other side of that.
Right.
And so you got to embrace. You've got to embrace having failures.
Right.
Right. But it don't make you a failure. You're going to experience failure because you don't know it all. So you're going to experience it as a part of the journey. Mm-hmm. You're going to experience failure. The key is not experiencing it, but how you handle that experience. Right. Is the key.
Right. We have a gentleman that's watching from Kenya. He just put in and said, I'm watching from Kenya. And I know probably over there, let me see, they're about 8 hours ahead of us.
Yeah, they're about 8 hours ahead of us.
So he's got to be sometime way in the morning. Thank you for getting up. Believe me, thank you for getting up and watching us, because I know it's early in the morning there. What would you say to people maybe who are in the third world now, that area, and they say, well, it's tough to be successful because this principle, Stan, what you're saying from God, works every place.
Everywhere, brother.
Stan, can I say this quickly? You do agree. It's not an African God, an American God, a European God. And sometimes we're careful, we'll preach that.
Yeah.
That God it's the same God, but he's different in America, but he is God.
No. Let me tell you something. About the difference between America and third world country. You know what the difference is? The difference is over here, we have learned how to dig and find our treasures. But God put wealth all over the earth. And so no matter where you go, you got to teach people how to find their treasures in the earth where they are, because it's in every, and this is what makes third world country is because the leadership and the government, they control the treasures. Mm. See, they find it, they control it, and they keep it from the people. So, but here's how the people get beyond that. The principles of God will transcend any person. It's bigger than any person. So if you can teach people in third world countries the principles of success in any area, in a third world country, they'll rise. Because you cannot stop principle, because principle will attract wealth of all sorts to you when you embrace them. The Bible says this. It says if you embrace wisdom, you love wisdom, in her right hand, is life and honor in her left hand, are wealth and riches.
Mm.
And the man, and it said, and the man who find her shall receive it all. See, wisdom is intangible and it cannot be stopped by a person. So if you can get people to believe that and understand that and embrace the wisdom of God, that in the midst of a desert, they can become an oasis. I believe that.
Right. I agree 100% with you in that area. You're 100% right on that.
And that's what I do when I go to Africa. I teach that.
Well, say it again.
Yeah, when I go to Africa,
right.
that's what I be teaching, that kind of stuff, you know. And because the principle, the word of God works everywhere. You got to learn how to work it.
Right. And I want to say, right away, we're going a few minutes over because we did start 5 minutes off, 5 or 10 minutes off. So I want to say hello to all of you. Hello, all of you out there, those from Africa who are listening, those who are coming in. So I say, God bless you all. Thank you for all the hearts and the stars and the thumbs and everything else. But this is a very important subject, Stan. I think this is a great way for us to kick off our first Man Like in a month, dealing with success. And that God, you know, I love like what you've always said, successfully you. It's we who become successful.
Yes.
God, or we through God, or God through, I mean, I should say it that way, in us.
Both.
Right, both. Very good. Yes. Brings us to that point of success. So we can be a blessing for God. Yeah.
See, the creation needs the creator, and the creator needs the creation.
Wow.
He designed it that way.
Right.
You know.
And what is the saying you always say, Stan? Born, live as you
live as you was created, so you don't live as you were born.
Wow. And a lot of us are living as we're born.
Exactly.
Wow.
Yep. And that means you're going by your earthly conditions that you came in and that you have, you know, placed into. It has nothing to do with, you know, being born has to do with, you know, the hand that you were dealt. Where regardless of the hand that you were dealt, God's hand is bigger than that hand. You know, and so no matter what hand you playing with, put your life in the hand of God.
Wow. Well, let's wrap it up, Stan. We got a few minutes left. Like I said, you know, thank you for taking your time. And I want to remind everybody that officially Stan comes on usually the third. Not to try and bill. I don't want to start billing. We start billing, Stan. What we call this? People start up there start billing. You know, well, I'm only watch author. I'm going to, and we have a new pastor on, Pastor Conrad Palacio. Will start with us the second Tuesday of each month. And then, of course, but Stan, another thing, I want you to talk with the boss. Of course, that's God. No, talk with the wife and see next month if y'all can come on. I really feel that we need to do another husband and wife thing.
Just give us a heads up. Give us a week ahead.
We'll talk about that later, but let's plan for next month, in the will of the Lord. But let's wrap this up, Stan, as we're dealing with success. Just a few more words on how we as men, as we're going on the journey, things happen. We find ourselves, sometimes we get locked up, we get caught up in things. The people who are watching right now, Stan, who might not have $1 in the bank, has lost everything. And they say, well, how can I get the success if I have nothing to work with? And you're explaining we do.
Yeah, exactly. And let me tell you that you got something that's better than money. Because let me tell you something. Money is something that's a result of something. But what's better than money is the source of money. And what God's source of money that he gave us is called purpose. Right. You see, when your life is based upon purpose, it's going to produce money. Simple as that. But when your life is based upon pleasures, privileges, and possessions, then you're gonna have a whole lot of emptiness, you know. And but purpose is greater than money, and purpose will produce money, but money will never give you purpose.
Well, you know what, Stan? A good friend of mine has just come on. Love him a lot. I'll say first of all, hi to Robin. And Robin's a successful businessman. You know, I like what he put there. Most of you can read it there. But I want to say one thing. One thing he said I've always liked, he talks about value. You know, and today, Stan, and also entitlement. You will agree that people are the way today because they think they're entitled.
Exactly.
That's what we're built now in America, is that everybody's entitled. And don't get me wrong, people have rights. But I think there's a difference. You agree? And not to get in a political issue.
No doubt. You're only entitled to your value.
Say that again, Stan. You got to say it again.
You're only entitled to your value. So you increase your value, you're entitled to have accordingly.
Wow. Wow.
So without value, you have no entitlement. So he's absolutely right.
Wow. Wow. Well, everybody out there, I want to say, first of all, before we go any further, thank you once again for being a part of this Manlight Radio. We come on every Tuesday if you're watching us live, 9 p.m. Central Standard Time, right here in the United States of America. In fact, we're broadcasting. I'm in San Antonio, Texas. Stan is in Dallas, Texas. Thank God for modern technology. Years ago, this was considered, well, it wasn't impossible. It just took millions of dollars to do it. But because of those of you who join in and are part of it, we just want to say thank you for being a part of this. And we come on every Tuesday. Next week we'll be back on again, and we just do this because why? We want to just break this out to all the men out there and let you know, guys, you can be successful in God. There's nothing wrong in that. There's nothing wrong, Stan, in living good. You know what's amazing, Stan, I have to say this before I go off, is that people who would complain about stuff like that are the people that go to doctors to try and stay healthy. They work long hours, hard hours, and that's good. You know, they try to get their best for their family, but yet still they complain about success. It's amazing.
And that's usually a steam issue, and until they achieve it.
That's good. Like I gave the thing a while ago about the pastor who hit the lottery. His wife did. Well, Stan, thank you once again, Pastor, man of God. I know that you're tired. You've been ministering from earlier today, and you're always ministering, brother, and heading out soon again. And we'll have you back on. And then, of course, we have to really work about having you come back to San Antonio sometime at the beginning of this year. Next year coming up, because just really have you come. What we need to talk. That's why we always hold you on success, because Stan, you've been through it. You know what it is to lose everything. Basically, and you know what it is through faith in God to gain back more. Amen. And that's in every area of your life. You've said it before, marriage, home, everything. But God has been so good. So I just want to say thank you, brother, for being a part of this. Man. And hello to the wife and family. And all of you out there, on behalf of myself and Stan Ferrell, I want to say to you, thank you very much for being a part of this Manlight Radio podcast. You can go to manlightradio.com, get all the previous broadcasts, and you can be able to see Stan there and all our previous broadcasts, manlightradio.com. You can email us at manlightradio@gmail.com, manlightradio@gmail.com, or you can go right up here. Oops, I keep making it up here to Slido, or just click on that button on the Manlight Radio. Go to slido.com, #manlike, and go inside there and leave a comment if you want to stay anonymous, or you can just say, hey, what's up? I want to say once again, thank you for being a part of these programs. God bless you all, and we will see you next time on the next Manlike Radio. You want to say bye to them, Stan?
Peace, my brothers and sisters. Blessings upon you.
Okay. Thank you for joining into the program today. It's a pleasure to have you. But listen, we need subscribers. We need you to subscribe to us. Now, you can subscribe to us two ways. You can do so on the social media you're watching, or you can go to manlightradio.com and join up to our email. That's right. Subscribe to us, guys, so that way we can keep in touch. We can send you news of what's going on. At the same time, we can get together, and when we have giveaways and so forth, you can be a part of that. So once again, thank you so much. But we do need subscribers, and we do need you to subscribe. So please take that time and go ahead and either hit the subscribe button, whatever social media you're on, or at the same time, go to manlightradio.com and send us an email at manlightradio@gmail.com. Thank you once again for joining us on this Manlight podcast. Please take time and email us at manlightradio@gmail.com. Once again, that's manlightradio@gmail.com. Manlight Podcast is a production of R.N. Boyd Productions and Love Gospel Network. Please seek a qualified professional in the area you need immediate help.